I think it's important to recognise some of the signs of someone who might have a mental health problem, and sometimes they're not obvious. So students might actually be quite distant, they might be withdrawn, they might not make eye contact with you. So approaching that conversation is quite difficult. The thing to do is allow the student to open up to you by prompting some questions about how they're doing, if they're struggling with anything at the moment, and those kind of questions can enable the student to realise that actually it's okay to talk about any issues that they need to raise.
So often the students who come to see me with problems can appear a bit withdrawn at first, and really it's a case of talking to them about how their course is going, general questions, not asking directly about them necessarily, but just asking general questions about how the course is going, how life's going, and trying to get them to open up to some extent. I mean, sometimes you do notice a change, or I do notice a change in how students have been compared to last time I saw them. Sometimes that change is gradual, sometimes it's clear that something's up. Perhaps the most worrying time is when I get a feeling that something isn't quite right with a student, and it's very difficult to get them to tell me anything that's wrong underneath. I mean, that's certainly happened at least once or twice in my time as a personal tutor, where I really feel like there must be something that a student isn't telling me, and I try my best to get them to open up, and it's difficult.
Quite often the students I speak to, I will have been aware of changes in their behaviour for a fair amount of time before they will actually speak to me about an issue. This is another reason why you need to have that relationship and awareness of what your students are going through, either with what is the norm for them on an individual level, or what you would expect of a generic student, what is within the range of normal behaviour at that point in the semester. And you have to be interacting with students and aware of how they are acting and behaving in order to notice these things. So you've got to give them the opportunities to be themselves around you. The main things I've noticed with students who've come to me with mental health concerns, there's often a lot of apathy or a flattened affect. They often come and are disengaged with their academic work, and that would be automatically flagged up within the department in terms of missed attendance, but it's not the entire picture at all.
So there was a student that I'd had kind of knowledge of a little bit before I actually met her, because she'd come into the university through an access program that I used to teach on, and even though I'd never taught her, we were kind of aware of each other, so we had a kind of bit of awareness of each other in that way. So she came to see me to talk about her father dying. She was a mature student and her father had been ill for quite some time, so this wasn't unexpected. This was something that was kind of anticipated for, and she had, to the full extent that anyone can, prepared for it. And we met quite a lot over quite a long period of time to see how that grieving process was going, really, and at the same time to check in about the academic stuff and to see whether she was getting appropriate support there. In that instance, the formal interventions that I was able to offer, so things like extenuating circumstances or extensions to pieces of work, they were relatively few in number and they were relatively straightforward, because this was acknowledged by everyone to be quite a difficult process to be working through. What was important for the student was having that official recognition that she was being heard, that her needs were being met in this particular way, and that the university was extending kind of its supportive processes to her. And again, she's a student who's gone on to do really great things. It is a privilege to walk alongside these students for these particular times and to play some small part in helping them get to where they want to be.